Mustard? Oh, you gotta
Yeah,
love
I love
mustard.
mustard. Yeah,
You gotta love mustard.
if you don't like
Oh
mustard.
yeah,
Ah,
man. Mustard's
Mustard,
mustard.
mustard is the devil's condiment.
hey, our theme song is back.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Heroes Peak podcast. Again, we are all stuck inside,
Fairly alarmed here.
and we are rather alarmed here in the actually everywhere in the world. What am I going to say? I was going to say in the United States, but everywhere in the world is rather alarmed right now. And we're here to give you hopefully a little bit of entertainment with that. I'm your host, Chris, and with me today, I've got three great co-hosts. I got Keith. How you doing, Keith?
Hey, I remember Earth. It was cool.
Take a little break.
Yeah.
Earth, that's where I keep all my stuff.
Not so funny right now, huh?
That was cool. God, take me now.
All right, James. How you doing, James?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Luckily I'm blessed and safe. I hope our subscribers are doing just as fine despite the pandemic that's out there. So hope to give you a little levity today.
And way up north, well, maybe like an hour and a half. That's wow. I just totally blanked. Mike, how you doing, Mike?
I'm good.
Mike is so far north, we forgot his name.
Yeah. Our wall is almost built, so we'll be keeping it on shortly.
I hear that's how you stop pandemics is through walls.
That's right.
No, that's how they stop the legions of darkness.
Oh, that's right. Today, we've got two main topics. So we're gonna give some recommendations for some stuff that, because we're all home, or most of us are home. My poor wife has to work. Some other folks maybe work from home, but you have some extra time on your hands. So we're gonna do some recommendations on stuff you can watch that we think are fun or not so fun. And we're also going to talk about the movie The Hunt. That trailer caused a little bit of a hoo-ha a little while ago. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. I think we're going to start with our recommendations, and I would talk about news, but there really is everything shut down. All productions mostly have stopped. Most of the big major movie releases are all pushing their releases back. So, I mean, what is there to talk about with that?
Yeah, other than the streaming platforms that are doing well, you're right. Like the big movie studios and theaters are all
And it's
dead
not
on
gonna
arrival.
go backwards. It's not gonna go backwards.
I think people will be happy to get out of the house once
Oh, yeah.
things have calmed down a bit.
You know, this
It'll
will
be like a rubber
the
band.
summer of '69 all over again.
It's our summer of discontent. But I do think though this is gonna get people way more comfortable. Like once this clears out, I think a lot of people are gonna get back outside. Blah blah blah. But I also feel like there's gonna be some things that's gonna go on here that are gonna be part of the landscape going forward.
Yeah, they're releasing some of the movies a little early onto the streaming platforms. They might not do it first run, but I think they'll do slightly earlier releases. I think people are clamor for that kind of thing. But what I'm surprised at is with all of the productions shut down, you're not getting a lot of the new series. I think everybody sat down and went, "Oh, look, I'll sit down and I'll get to watch Loki and I'll get to watch, Scarlet Witch series and whatnot." But hey, you know what? They can't actually make them. You're home, they're home.
Yeah, you're only getting what's already been in the can, what's ready to be released. So, which I'm surprised New Mutants isn't out. Do they what?
Do they make them that quickly anyway, though? Like, I mean, this has really only been like a month.
No. When I said stuff that's already in the can, I mean things that are already scheduled to be released around this time period. You know, so they'll just expedite it. If they already have it like ready to rock and roll, edited, just we're waiting for marketing. Now they can just dump it on any one of the streaming platforms, and then move on to the next. which is why I'm confused why we haven't gotten any word about the New Mutants, because that's been in the can for over a year.
Yeah, that would be a great release now.
And
That,
Like everybody's at home.
yeah, you'd really know what people thought of it. I think.
Exactly. Like to me, this is the perfect time to test your streaming audience.
yeah,
Especially on
perfect
something
time.
you're not expecting to make money
Yeah,
on.
and you'll never get this big this big a test like subjects, like this many test subjects ever again, like willingly.
So
Yeah.
the only issue is, where does Disney release it, on Disney Plus, or do they release it to?
I thought they'd do
this-
Hulu, because Hulu has more of their darker theme.
Nah.
Because it's PG-13. I think they can release it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It would depend. I think they would do Disney Plus because it's more of a
Yeah,
I know.
I would think so.
Hulu originals aren't something that we really look for.
Not yet.
Yeah, well, right now Hulu is we go for TV the day or a few days after, or a couple of TV series. We don't go for the original Hulu content. I can't think of a single one that we've watched.
I watch Runaways. My
I
son
watch
just now
it.
started. Yeah, my son just started
I watch
binging
all the
that
content.
since the weekend. He loves it.
Yeah, I
Wait,
didn't
what did he start
That's
watching?
true.
Runaways.
He just
Marvel
started
Runaways.
that?
Yeah, he just started.
I've been watching that. I love it, but like it's a little
Yeah.
bit corny, but corny in like a like almost like it's a cartoon. Like they almost act kind of cartoon like in real life. Like it should be a cartoon.
I mean, it's
But
not that
I
much
kinda
different than
dig
the CW DC stuff in some cases.
Oh, not at
Yeah.
all. Not at all. Not at all. In fact, I feel like the CW stuff might even be a little bit like
Darker. It's more older.
darker. Yeah, like it's even the
Not older,
CW
not
stuff to me
older.
is even more like
Yeah, you're
like
right. It's
you'll
gotten
find-
it's gotten darker. Yeah, you're right.
But
I think it's a nice little happy kind of tweeny supernatural superhero show.
yeah, I watched the first season of it. I did not like it. It's just when you have so many things to watch, it's a pick and choose.
Oh,
You know what I
definitely.
mean?
It isn't
Yeah,
the
I never
highest
watched.
on my priority level.
I never watched Runaways, but I did watch Cloak and Dagger.
I
How
love
was
Cloak
that?
and Dagger.
Runaway.
Love
I like
Cloak
that
and
one.
Dagger.
Yeah.
Love
I really
Cloak and
like
Dagger.
I don't know.
I
It
thought
didn't
was
really
very
catch
well
me.
produced.
First
Yo,
season
it was
was
so
good,
well
and then
produced, though.
Exactly.
Ah. I really wish people like check for that show more, cause like, I really liked it. I thought that the production value was really good and the acting was decent on it.
I don't know. It just wasn't catching me. I think the two main protagonists just wasn't doing it for me.
Not feel you. I totally get
I mean,
that. I think
I
that
watched the
that's
whole
same
first
thing with
season.
a lot of people.
I watched the whole first season, and I was like,
The second season is legitimately better than the first one, though. I have to say, there's way more action.
we were just talking about originals on that network. We totally forgot about The Handmaid's Tale. That's on that network.
Yeah, true. There's a lot of originals on there.
Yeah, that's huge for them.
Wait,
Yeah.
Handmaid's Tale is a
Handmaid's
Hulu?
Tale is
yeah.
Hulu?
Yeah.
What?
See,
Holy shit,
they're
I
doing a
didn't know
terrible
that.
job marketing that.
That's a horrible job because I really should know that was a Hulu show. That's one of the shows. That's a pop culture reference. That's
Mhm.
dumb on their part.
Yeah,
That's dumb on their
that's
part.
award
Yeah.
worthy too.
So that's popular. I'm bringing up right now Hulu originals. So, So the top four on their website are Little Fires Everywhere, which is like a TV
Yeah, I'm not watching.
drama.
Uh,
Margaret Atwood. It's a
Also not
documentary. A comedy, Big Time Adolescence. Never heard of it. And the Hillary documentary. Ooh,
That's supposedly pretty good, actually.
I'm sure it is, but am I driving?
The other
Utopia
one-
Fall. I mean, they've got some originals. Maybe I should sit down and check them out a little more. But
They don't promote that side of themselves very well.
yeah, like
Yeah.
Netflix like puts it in your face. Their originals are the top thing. Like we go to Hulu to watch our old episodes of Bones and
Yeah,
The Masked Singer.
that's why I watch The League.
Right. Let's see here. Hey Hulu, we're gonna give you some advertising if you want to advertise. Yeah. See, there's a lot of like CW type shows. Endlings, it's a younger
Mhm.
teen. Utopia Falls, it's a teen drama. Crawlers is a teen horror.
I kind of look at Hulu as like CW if it was HBO.
Oh yeah, that's a good
Yeah,
call.
good. I guess they're good.
By looking at it, High Fidelity. I heard the High Fidelity series, but
Ooh, the Hot Wives of Orlando. What is that about? Hot Wives of Las Vegas. Make sure you edit that out, by the way. Yeah,
No,
Chris.
that's silly. That has to stay.
No, that's our cold open right there. What are you talking about?
Yes, cold open, yes.
Oh, they have that Castle Rock series.
Yeah, I've heard
Oh,
that.
right, yeah.
I've
I've
only
been
watched
meaning
the
to
first
watch that.
episode.
Yeah, I've been meaning. It's like one of those ones that I pass by all the time and like, oh, I gotta check that out.
It's so difficult with having, because we're running 3 or 4 different streaming services here, and sometimes I don't even know. I just open one and hope to find something.
Mm-hmm.
I hardly go specifically.
In search of something.
Yeah, and plus our Amazon, we have the Amazon Stick, and I can ask it to show me something. Of course, it tries to sell me stuff every time I do. So
That's how I watch it too. I have the Amazon, the
Fire Stick.
Fire
the
Stick,
Fire
yeah.
Stick.
I had to get one because all of my TVs had different interfaces and they connected in different ways, and it was a pain in the ass. So it was easier to get the Fire Stick for everything. So we're already really knee deep in recommendations here. So why don't each of you give me at least one thing that you think people should sit and watch now that they have time on their hands? Who wants to start?
Let me start.
All right, go, James.
All right, so something that I was late in the game watching. It's a movie, and I think I'm not even sure if Keith or Mike had recommended it to me, but it was in my queue for a while, and it's Hobbs and Shaw.
I think that was
yes.
Keith.
Yeah, I think it was Keith. I've watched just the entire Fast and Furious franchise from the first one all the way through the last movie, and yeah, they've gotten bad in the last couple of movies. So when Hobbs and Shaw was being released, amidst all the controversy between Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Vin Diesel and what was happening with them behind production, to me I was like, oh man, this is just gonna be another cash grab, and The Rock's gonna sell no matter what. So do I really want to see it? And then it came into the movies, and I had no inclination going to the movie theaters to see it the first weekend or the second weekend. And then I've heard mixed reviews when it came out from different, YouTube influencers and some websites that I kind of follow. So I just said, so well, it's gone is gone. I didn't hear anything about it. And then it started becoming available in the platforms, and I was like, hey, let me give this a shot, see what it's about. I'm glad I did, because I realized that I probably should have watched it for myself, because I would have enjoyed it a lot more in a movie theater than I did at home watching it on my small screen. This movie again is no apologies. It's not trying to be like a Lord of the Rings or um, a Quentin Tarantino movie. It's an action flick with The Rock being The Rock, Jason Statham being being the same characters he is in, well, not in Crank, but more of his earlier movies where he showcases his physical ability. Some mild comedy from him here and there, and Idris Elba really goes campy as being the villain of this movie, which to the point where I actually did enjoy it. It wasn't like over the top, but just enough to make you feel like, all right, I can kind of see what he's trying to do and why, although it's stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll let it
He
slide.
really
I'll
is
buy
the
it.
Black Superman.
I'll buy it. He believes in it.
I agree with you. If there's anything about that movie that I'd have to say that I didn't like, it was that. Like, I felt I felt like I knew where he was going with his character, but he was just like a little bit too annoying with it. Like, no, man.
So when the movie does a pivot in the third act, where they basically, I mean, you've seen the trailers. He's back in the U.S. Samoan Islands, The Rock and Jason and the crew, to kind of final standoff against Idris Elba and his crew. I thought that it kind of took away from the story that they were building up to, as far as them being international guys trying to save the world from the virus, to just putting it on a set just to showcase The Rock's background, his heritage. That part kind of took me out of it. That's why I wouldn't give
Yeah.
this anything higher than like a B minus for a movie. But the action sets and sequences was good enough to make me feel like I was really watching something that was worth, you know, my time.
Your invested time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
exactly.
felt it was a great flashback to the more campy action '90s movies,
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
rather
Yes.
than the serious fare you're getting now, where you get like the Captain Americas and stuff like that, where it's
Yes.
you know
Now, mind you, I believe that it's still over. It's when I say over the top, it gets very superhero-ish, like the main Fast and Furious franchise with the cars and some of the actions with the vehicles. Like for example, when he's holding a helicopter and they're all
right,
like in that last act. To me, there's nothing about that as believable. But
right.
yet they build enough credit in the first half, first two thirds of the movie to feel like okay, this didn't come out of nowhere. I can kind of see where they're showing you that they
Yeah,
have the ability to do some of this stuff, unlike Fast and Furious.
yeah, ramp in the craziness. I like that. I like the ramp in the craziness.
So and when the movie ended off, and I was hoping. I mean, I know some surprise cameos. I guess when we're doing spoiler, no spoiler, but two actors that we've seen, particularly one with The Rock before in his other movies, show at some weird moments in the movie. That was very fun, very enjoyable. So at the end of the movie, it looks like they're trying to set up a potential sequel. I'm not sure
Mm.
how that would work now with the main Fast and Furious franchise still existing. Where would these two guys fit, in the same world with Vin Diesel and his crew? But yeah, I mean, I hear Keith. He's about to say yes, he would watch it. And yeah, I would definitely watch it too. This time I'd watch it in the movie theater.
And it's funny. My like when I become interested in a movie, like really, like it's not hard. It's not hard to really kind of like give me everything, like give me the things that I basically want from that particular movie. Like I like Fast and Furious for what I like Fast and Furious for. Sometimes I just want to see stuff blow up, and I want to see it done in large fashion, and I want to be a safe distance from it. That's
Yeah,
you know,
like this
when I
movie,
want
I
that.
thought was better than the last Fast and Furious movie. Was
Yes,
Episode 8.
wait, this movie was better than maybe the last two or three Fast and Furious. I would argue, but but
Recency bias a little bit, but
no, I would say in terms of enjoyability, like, cause to me, like Fast and Furious, even though, like, again, I just like it for the action and the the minimal plot, but this was more like a live action. Um, I'm trying to think of like one of the cartoons, uh,
GI Joe.
like Young Bond or that. Oh, you know what? This is like Xander Cruz.
Triple X.
Yes, this is like a lot. Not the movie. That cartoon.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The main character.
neither.
He's a spy, but his name is Xander. Xander Cruz. The cartoon is so funny. Why can't I remember
A
though?
modern
yeah.
cartoon or an old one?
Triple X was Xander Cage, by the way.
What? His name was Xander Cage?
Page.
Cruz. I'm looking it up. Xander Cruz. Cruz.
I'm pretty sure.
This reminded me of
Uh,
the '80s cartoon Mask, but
Oh,
Mask
so
was great. I love Mask.
So it's literally called Xander Cruz. Crews.
on Adult Swim.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw that.
Archer. It's Archer. No, it's called Archer. Archer.
Okay.
The
So
cartoon.
Oh my God,
Well-
Archer!
But it's like this is like it was more like a live action like that. Like yeah, the villain was super campy. He was more like a live action Destro or
Oh, Frisco Dingo is what it says. Is an American adult animated cartoon series created by Adam Reed and Matt Thompson for Adult Swim.
it was two. It's Frisco Dingo and it's Archer.
Right.
Yeah, I know Archer. I don't know the other one.
Yeah, I know Archer.
I've never heard of this
It's,
before.
it's almost the same thing. Like it's literally I don't even know.
It's from 2006 to 2008. It's on Hulu, so if
Yeah,
you want to
that's
try it.
Oh, there goes Hulu. Shout out to
Right.
Hulu.
Well, and
So
apparently,
go ahead.
I just looked it up that the movie we were just talking about, Hobbs and Shaw, is
Yeah.
on Hulu, but you have to have a HBO subscription or something to watch it. So otherwise, you have to pay Amazon Prime Video or something to watch it.
Yeah, it's on demand on HBO now,
Mhm.
but not free.
Ah,
So
there you
the
go.
reason why I brought this up because I just want to, when we talk about recommendations, I think for those who are subscribers who are similar like me, they're kind of on the fence with getting back into the whole Fast and Furious franchise and thinking this was just going to be another cash grab. Give this movie a shot. It's definitely worth watching. You'll thank me for it.
Yeah, I thought that the two leads had a good, fun interaction style.
Good
You
chemistry.
know, yeah. Better than the last movie.
What do you think
I
of
saw.
the heroine, the female protagonist?
She was good. She had you know what you're gonna get with The Rock and Jason Statham, and I thought the woman that played his sister, had great physicality in keeping up with those
Yes,
guys.
thank you. She reminded me. She had one scene that I was thinking of Black Widow throughout. The way she pulled that scene off. Yeah, I would love for them to do a sequel. I think they made enough money for one. I don't think it was a flop.
Yeah, Hobbs and Shaw, two Hobbs, two Shaw.
No, no, stop. Two House, two show.
Vanessa Kirby.
Okay, has she done anything before?
I'm
She
looking
was
her
great.
up right now.
Yeah, I've
She was
seen her
great.
before and some other stuff.
She in the Crown and Mission Impossible Fallout.
That's the one. Yep.
I don't remember a Mission Impossible, and I don't watch The Crown, so.
And
Yeah, she was the one that had she
the
was
White
setting up the
Widow.
plutonium meat. Yeah.
So she's set for Mission Impossible 7 too.
Mm.
But everything else, Frankenstein Chronicles, The Crown, a lot of TV. But yeah,
That's good. No, I hope to see the three of them again.
But I
Yeah.
tell you, she was really just like a glue person. Because even now, as I think about the movie, it's more so about them two.
It is, but I think
Yeah.
she gave me the right amount of salt to like their main course at times, just to like keep it together.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like especially when they were
Yeah, that's what I mean. No, that's what I mean. The glue character. She was like
Yeah.
the glue character, like same person on the basketball team, like the glue guy. Like you're not the star, but like your presence is there to kind of keep things going fluidly and to actually manage stuff between the two people who are the stars.
Yeah, I gotcha. Your James
Yeah.
Poe
What
leads
did
and
you
your
think? What did you think about the banter? Did you think too much or just fine? Or
No, I love that stuff.
No, I
man.
thought it was just fine. I
I
thought
like
it
it.
it,
Yeah.
it was just fine. Because to me, it's not as bad as the whole Tyrese Gibson and
Yeah.
Ludacris banter on the main show. Because that on the main show, the main
the movie,
films.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that shit gets boring real quick with me.
Well, plus it wasn't just banter. Some of the stuff they were doing was physical. So like when they were going down, when Statham is going down the elevator and they
Yeah.
can't talk to each other, and The Rock swings the guy's head into the elevator and then flips him off. That's as much banter as anything they've said.
Dude, that banter when they first kind of like meet, they're reunited
Yeah.
back in, and when they realize that they have to work with each other, and they're going back and forth with insults, and he's like, you know what it is? It's your voice. And then you know what it is? Your face.
Your
To
Harry
me,
Potter voice.
that was although it was meant to be, comedy, it was still entertaining to listen and watch.
Yeah. At the scene where they're going down the hallways, the separate hallways to get through the doors,
Oh, that was good.
and
That was good.
and Rock's got like one big guy, and Statham's got like 10 of
30
the
guys.
fast guys. Yeah.
Oh, and then he tries the different hands. He keeps trying the
Yeah,
different hands. and
right.
they don't work.
Alright, so now that we've reached spoiler world, I might as well
Oh,
say
sorry.
that final fight when they
Mhm.
when the message, just like in the old GI Joe, teamwork's half the battle. At the end, when they finally realize in order to take him down, they actually have to employ teamwork. And they almost, I think they even said that, right? Like,
Yep.
Yeah, they said something really campy or something like
yeah,
that.
it's like it's gonna have to be both of us, I'll take a blow for you to give a blow, and you'll give a blow
Right.
for me to take a blow. Like, this is just trash writing, but you know what?
Well, you know what?
You
Yeah.
get to this
No.
point, and I'll enjoy
It
it.
was perfect writing. It was perfect. Perfect for what it was.
The Fast and Furious message is always family, so this one will always be, I guess, teamwork. Right?
Teamwork, because they're not,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
technically not
Yeah.
family, yeah.
All right.
They're working for hire, and they have, they're a team, not necessarily family.
Yeah.
So Hobbs and Shaw. Good pick. Good pick,
Yeah.
James.
Wow, we went on that one.
Yeah,
Sorry,
we
guys.
did. That's all right. It was a good one.
No, that's
Who
the
wants to
point.
go next?
Oh, good cameo by Kevin Hart in that too, by the way.
Well, that's what I was trying to say earlier. Kevin Hart, Ryan Reynolds, man, great cameos and
Yeah.
great, yeah.
Slightly forced, but I dig it. I actually would have preferred him in more the role that the Babe was in.
Who? Kevin Hart or
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds? Kevin Hart?
Kevin
Nah,
Hart. Kevin Hart could not keep
Maybe
up
even
with
Ryan
him.
Reynolds.
I think it would have
Or
been a
maybe
different
even
movie.
Maybe even Ryan Reynolds.
I
No,
think,
she
Yeah,
was
Ryan
kicking
yeah,
Reynolds.
ass.
maybe Ryan Reynolds. I think Kevin Hart would have made it more like the Fast and Furious, and then you just insert Tyrese in there.
Yeah. Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds, because he at least be able to do the physical stuff. But like,
Yes.
but his comedic styling, he might have actually overblown both of them, to tell you the truth.
I mean, have you seen The Hitman's Bodyguard? That's
No.
basically
No.
what you're asking for. The Hitman's Bodyguard
No.
was, Ryan
Yeah,
Reynolds.
that was pretty good. Yeah.
It was funny.
I think I've
Actually,
seen
I
that one.
I don't think it was as good as Hobbs and Shaw, to be 100% honest, but I think that's
No.
funny. It's funnier.
Hmm.
All right.
You never
That-
know. We could get a Reynolds and Hart spin-off from this too,
I
No, it
hope
was
not. No, thank
it
you.
was
right?
yeah. I bet you Ryan Reynolds is the bad guy, by the way. It wasn't. That's not a spoiler. It's a guess.
Yeah.
I think he's the bad guy.
Interesting.
Interesting.
All right.
Especially the way that, with that final scene. All right, anyway, go ahead.
All right. So who wants to go next? Keith or Mike?
I'll go. No big
Go
deal.
ahead, Keith.
What have I been watching? Or am I just giving the one that I'm recommending?
Just one. Just a recommendation.
I'm not all the way through it, but I do like what I'm seeing of this show, Queen Sono, on I believe that's Netflix. It's a Netflix original.
What did you call it? Queens.
Queen Sono, Sono. It looks like an African production.
Okay.
It's a series, but like it's a female protagonist, and she's like a spy. Personally, I enjoy it because it's exactly what I want from a show that would feature a cast that's all black, right? I mean, and it's totally set in Africa. I think it's even the language that she's speaking and whatever through her espionage. I think it's Zulu, as well as a few other languages that she knows. But like, it has nothing at all to do with anything oppression related in the history of any, like, it's just she's what's her name without the powers.
Well, what was that Jennifer Garner series?
Yeah,
The Secret Age. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. It's basically
Yeah.
that. It's basically that. But it's decent. It's good. It's like, oh wow, like I've never seen this story from this perspective or this, like, with this landscape, and it's totally interesting. Dope fight scenes. Well, some of the fight scenes lag a little bit, like especially with the gunplay. You can see the CGI is off or whatever. Like production wise, I give it more of like a C, but the storylines is entertaining. The characters, the people, like it's not texturized at all. Like it's like her mom, her grandma is this like old African lady, and she speaks like as such, and even all of the inflections and the tones, and I just really like it, and it's a dope storyline, and she kicks ass, and the fight scenes are pretty dope. Like I think it's a decent show. I'd recommend it.
That's cool. I never heard of it. I know Netflix. They only bring up things that they think you'll be interested in. So,
Oh,
but it looks
okay.
cool. Like that's why I haven't seen it. They don't just put out their new stuff and go, "Hey, try this out. This is out of your box."
Which I think is such a failing, but I dig it. I guess there's only so much space on the screen. But
yeah, but maybe they should have a box that says this is not something that would normally be recommended to you, but we just made this.
Hey, try new shit, Bob.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
absolutely. Because actually, it's Queen Sono is an adult orphan who finds her purpose working for a spy agency dedicated to protecting the entire African continent. I mean, that sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, that's to me.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm interested.
Yeah, I never heard of it.
Thanks, Keith, for that reco.
Yeah.
No, take a look. I'm telling you, I would love to actually hear what you guys
Wait,
think.
what's it on again? Sorry, I didn't.
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay.
Sono. Queen Sono. Yeah.
Like her mom was this revolutionary, but got murdered in front of her, and like this, like, yeah, it's like a whole like movement was started behind that, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. But don't expect like super high production value.
Well, no, like I watch anime, so as soon as I watch an anime, I start getting like Korean dramas
Mm.
or kung fu Japanese kung fu flicks or stuff like that. You know what I mean? As soon as you watch something in a certain category, they'll start populating relatively quick.
Hmm.
Yeah,
All right,
We gotta get Keith on board in anime, Chris.
we got to
I
pick a
mean,
light one because all the ones I watch are like 400 episodes.
I used to watch that. I used to watch
I
anime.
know.
I'm not.
In the '90s,
I'm
you're the
not.
one that put me on some of that stuff
Yeah,
in the
I
'90s.
just not like. There's no new storyline. I used to really like the movies more so than the animated series. Like I
Mhm.
loved
Because
Night
the movies wrap it up to you, the bow tie, one little, nugget.
Like,
You
Oh
sit down,
yeah,
you watch it, and you're
like
done.
it just
Whereas the
seems
the
like
series
series, you gotta, yeah.
drag on.
the shows would never be over. The TV show, like it went like Dragon Ball Z. What? Like how many different iterations? What's going on?
Right.
Just give me one solid product. Nah, but like Akira, those kind of things. Like I love those movies still to this day.
Oh yeah, I bought that for my one son who got into anime. I'm like, okay, if you're gonna be into anime, you have to
Yeah,
watch this
you
stuff.
gotta see the classics. Akira to me is still awesome. Like it's still
Oh,
movies.
It is.
There's
yeah.
still anime movies that are trying to live up to Akira.
What bugs me right now is that I still don't have that much access to the Miyazaki library. I know I said it wrong. I'm American, whatever. Um,
I'm American, whatever.
so no, like we watched Howl's Moving Castle when it finally it popped on Netflix once or whatever, and everybody enjoyed it, and they just like Disney got. I know Disney got the rights, streaming rights, and then they never did anything with them. I don't get it.
Hmm.
I think those movies would kill on streaming
Did
platforms.
any of you guys ever catch the Castlevania Netflix animated series that came out last year?
I almost watched it today, but I chose something else.
So many times I almost watched it.
It's not bad. I mean, I think this is a case where the animation is better than the actual story, which is sad. Um, it's got some great animation, like the drawings and stuff, and right up a Chris's alley for art.
Well,
But
I
the
did
story,
watch. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was
I'll
gonna
check
say
it
the
out.
story is like,
Yeah, I heard it takes a downfall.
yeah, it does.
I just watched Super Street Fighter 2 the other night. And I love that movie,
Yeah,
but
it's great. I love that too.
but I was watching it going, "Oh, I'm seeing the parts now." You know, you're like, yeah.
The animation
The
is
action,
terrible.
the animation style. I love the animation style,
Oh boy.
but just yeah, there were some parts. The simplicity of the action movie. Plus, it was the Japanese. I think it was the Japanese subtitle
Yeah, it
version.
was a subbed one.
And I'm used to the American one, and so
Yeah.
the music's all different. And so the music cues I was expecting, I was kind of let down by, because I was missing my
Yeah.
KMFDM. All right, Mike, do you have a recommendation for us?
I do. So today I'm going to recommend the Amazon series Hunters with Al Pacino. It
That
came
just
out.
came out.
Well, it came out about a month ago. I'm finally getting around to watching it.
Uh,
But it's really good so far. So I'm about 4 or 5 episodes in. It stars Logan Lerman. He was Percy Jackson. I don't know if you remember those movies.
oh yeah, we love
Yeah. Uh,
kid
so he
adventure
play-
movies. Big-
Right. So he plays a young man who lives in New York City, lives with his grandmother. She gets murdered, and come to find out, she was a Nazi hunter. So let me give you like an overview. In this universe, it's about 30 years after World War II, and there's a bunch of Nazis that have escaped and are secretly living in the U.S., and some of them have infiltrated society and government. So his grandmother was part of a team that was hunting these Nazis down. They were all Jews in the concentration camp. So after they got out and they realized that these Nazis were here, they formed a group led by Al Pacino. He plays Meyer Offerman. He's the head of the hunters, and they hunt these Nazis down. So his grandmother was murdered, and Al Pacino decides, I'm going to bring this guy into our group and teach him the ropes, and he's going to help us hunt Nazis. It's a pretty graphic show. It's Amazon Prime, so it's like rated R, right? But so far, it's got a great cast to it. There's a lot of guys in there you'll recognize and go, I don't know this person's name, but I know I've seen them everywhere. Good story so far. That, like I said, they are hunting Nazis. It turns out some of them are really high up in government. Right now, where I'm at, they're trying to track down the guy who was like the head doctor at Auschwitz, who was doing experiments on the prisoners, and they thought he was dead, and come to find out he's still alive, hiding somewhere. So if you definitely get a chance, watch this series. Once I finish it, I think I'll do a better, a fuller review on how the whole series went. But
is it more drama style, or?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's pretty dark, so.
Well, is it like thriller, drama, horror, action?
No, it's just like action drama, right? And it's, like I said, it's pretty dark. There's a lot of messages in there about, what if and how. There's a lot of history. Like, if you remember, Watchmen had a lot of history about how African Americans were treated back in the day. You'll see how the Jewish people were treated back then as well in this one.
That sounds something.
Yeah.
Something.
What do you say, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Any
on that
supernatural elements or sci-fi?
Like
no. It's pure. It's pure. It's pure.
Wait, how many episodes is it again, Mike?
This season we have 10 episodes.
10 episodes are hour each.
So I'm about halfway through. Yeah.
I mean, is it like Quentin Tarantino editing history-esque? Because
no, so far it seems pretty accurate. Like, I haven't gone through and sourced like everything they've said to see, but I would imagine that most of it, except for the fact, the alternate universe of how these people escaped and infiltrated the government and stuff. But I think most of the flashbacks from the camps are probably pretty accurate.
Okay.
The way they were treated and what was done to them,
So a little dramatization, but not
right.
like revenge porn, like a...
No. Because it takes, so far, pretty much in every episode, they hunt. There's one Nazi per episode that they're going after. So it takes them a while to figure out where they are and how they're going to, get this person.
Okay.
So it's episodic like that, but there is an overall, we've got to stop the infiltration that's going on,
So Hunters, what's it on?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. All right. So all three of you, let's see here, gone. So that leaves me. So I was bouncing back and forth between two different movies I recently saw. I'm gonna do Freaks. It was I just popped up on my Netflix. 2018 movie. It's rather short, under 2 hours. The log line for the movie says, A bold girl discovers a bizarre, threatening, and mysterious new world beyond her front door after she escapes her protective father's paranoid control. Huh. See, sometimes I wonder who writes these things. I guess that they don't want to tell you anything that's going on. So I guess that's why they use kind of random words.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you how the movie starts, and it gets more interesting from there. So you have this little girl. She's maybe eight, and she's living with her father in this up in a house that's completely boarded up, things covering every window, and he's teaching her how to survive in a world where she has to act normal. And he's like, you got to learn how to say your name so you're acting normal, because people have to believe you're normal. So this whole first 15 minutes of the movie is just this father that seems like a paranoid. He doesn't want to leave the house, but he will to get he brings a gun to go get supplies, right? And the girl looks outside through like a little crack in the window coverings, and she sees like this really almost like idealized suburbia with like a ice cream man and like a little blonde girl with pigtails, but there's some weird stuff happening with like birds that aren't quite flying right, and just weird stuff going on. And so you kind of get set in this thing like, is this guy paranoid? You know, what's he talking about? He's telling the girl that if she goes outside, people will kill her, and it's a great little setup. And then it goes, not to be spoilery, but it kind of goes in the direction of the X-Men Gifted TV show. So it's
That was a great show, by the way. But go ahead.
right. So it's really, at first I was like, oh, this is kind of slow. I was doing it while I was like folding laundry, and you didn't even really have to watch it. You kind of hear what's going on. But as it ramped up, as it got further into the movie, I really got interested, and it got pretty exciting. Some good head explosions, things like that. It was pretty cool. Really
some
freaky.
good head explosions.
Some good head explosions. So always good to have a good head explosion in a movie.
Why are heads exploding?
Well, see, there are some guns, but there's
Okay.
other stuff. I'll say one guy purposely smacks his face against a rock wall multiple times.
Okay.
So no, it's a good movie. I don't want to give too much away unless I throw the spoiler horn and I tell you guys more about it. But I think
it's fine.
It's one of those where I don't want to tell it because I think it kept me engaged because it kept layering interesting ideas. Every time I thought I knew what was going on, it kind of something else layered on top and said, "Oh no, it's slightly different than what you think." Oh, I know this. Oh well, yes, but no, we're gonna go a different way. So it's definitely a cool movie. I definitely suggest it. It's called Freaks on Netflix.
We'll check it out.
Freaks.
Yeah, by the name, I was like, oh, what? I thought I knew. Again, it's just a layer on top of layer of interesting slight shifts in storyline. No big jumps where you're jump scares or not jump scares. Like twists that make you go, oh, I never saw it coming. It wasn't that.
Oh wait, I did see that.
You did see it?
Yeah. You're explaining it perfectly. Like I actually wanted more from it a little bit.
I can see that.
It just didn't satisfy me, and it really just went off the tangents that it went on, and on the flashbacks and the I feel like it wasn't really seamless. Like, yeah,
it was definitely a smaller movie. They kept everything kind of tight, nothing super, but it was interesting, and the perspective on it. Basically the entire time you're on the little girl's perspective.
Yeah.
So you're never quite sure what the father is doing or thinking, or what's going on in the world around her, who's who's good, who's bad, what the world wants. So that's what helps build it, because you're not sure who's who, and I think that helps keep it interesting throughout the entire movie.
I
So
agree.
yeah, check it out, guys.
And yeah, I would definitely second that.
All right, so at this point, I think we're gonna move on and discuss The Hunt.
Wait,
Movie.
we do have some news if you want to just quickly.
Oh, Mike, you've got news.
Yes. So a couple things. First, I'm excited to hear that Rosario Dawson will be playing the live-action version of Ahsoka Tano in The Mandalorian Season 2.
Yeah.
Wanted to get some thoughts on that. Finally, you're going to get a live-action version of her.
Yeah.
What movie should I watch or TV show that gives me Rosario Dawson doing action? Are we going to assume Sin City? Man, I haven't watched that in a minute.
Yeah, Sin City.
She's on a TV show right now on, I believe, AMC or FXX called Briar Patch. It's not necessarily full action.
Yeah, never seen it, but. Yeah.
So Rosario Dawson. So I'm gonna have to fire up Sin City and see.
I could definitely see that voice and look with Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was a good choice. Yeah.
Yeah, very.
We
good
all
choice.
like her. I mean, everybody likes Rosario Dawson.
She also did Death Proof, but that wasn't that much action.
Don't forget, she's Claire Temple in like the Netflix MCU.
Yeah, but she was like relegated to like house nurse.
Okay, wait a minute. She was the voice of Wonder Woman in Wonder Woman Bloodlines?
Oh yeah, she's been in a lot of Wonder Woman.
Oh.
She's
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that the other day too. All right.
What I like about this though is she was seeking that role for a while. She wanted to be it. It's different when someone wants is invested, enjoys the whole franchise, the IP, and wants to be. Like how Ryan Reynolds was pushing for Deadpool for so long, he finally got it, and you could tell, like his portrayal is because he's really invested in the character. I'm hoping it's the same thing with her.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that depends on how much action they're actually going to do. Because so far in The Mandalorian, the action's been mostly Western style, so it's mostly. But if she's playing a Jedi,
a fallen Jedi. Gray Jedi,
and the spoiler, I guess, for how many months ago, but it ended with seeing the Darksaber emerge.
Yeah, right.
So there's got to be at least one lightsaber fight.
I would hope.
I'd be kind of annoyed if I didn't get one. You're gonna.
Yeah. Although I will say, for those who watch the Clone Wars, if you're watching the new season. I don't know, James. Did you see that?
Not yet. I'm waiting for it to get a little more full before I.
We had the return of Ahsoka, but she was saberless. Because I believe she handed it in to Anakin, right?
Anakin,
when she left. Yeah.
When she left the Jedi.
So, yeah.
But she obviously gets a saber, two sabers, in Rebels. Remember when she fought Anakin as Darth Vader?
You're right. That's right.
All right.
I forgot about that.
So. The one thing I don't like about the Clone Wars, I'm glad they brought it back, but let's be honest, this just finishes the story right before Revenge of the Sith. It doesn't expand it any more than we really want it to. So it's like,
No, I mean, the whole thing is, I guess, if they're trying to create little side stories for the future,
Disney being greedy.
But, yeah.
So. Anyway, we digress.
Yeah.
Thanks for the news.
Oh, but I'm not done. I got.
You were done, sir. Good day.
Okay, so the second thing is rumor mill. These next two are rumor mill. So the first one, which I was also kind of excited for, was Charlie Cox from Netflix Daredevil may make an appearance in the next Spider-Man movie.
That's a rumor.
As Daredevil.
That's a rumor.
Yeah. I know. Like I said, rumor.
No, just making sure whoever's listening to our pod doesn't go out there and profess. I heard a Harris P podcast that we get shut down real quick.
As it is written, so shall it be. No, but I was just going to say that if it's true, I'm looking forward to that because I did like the Daredevil character on Netflix.
Same.
It'd be nice to see him on screen again.
I
And
don't
the
know.
last thing,
Can he be less whiny than the last time I saw him on screen?
Wow.
I don't think he was that whiny in the last
Wow.
season, though. I
Daredevil
think he
season
came up.
3.
Yeah, season 3, he was freaking. Oh,
The first half of the season when his whole Catholic dogma. Yeah, I get it.
Uh,
But that's part of the character.
it
His
is. It
faith
is. I
and
know.
question and
his internal struggle, yeah.
yeah, it is.
Maybe over against Spider-Man, it'll feel different than if we're wallowing in it.
Yeah, he might be his next mentor since like Tony's gone.
Oh, we're gonna do some more mentor hopping for Spider-Man.
Well, as long as
No.
Spider-Man's gonna be a teenager, yeah, I don't think that's changing until he's an adult.
It'd be nice if Spider-Man's asking him, "What man? Why are you always so grumpy? Cheer up, dude."